And we are live. Hello and thank you for tuning in. I'm Mark, this is Retro First Hour, and on tonight's episode we're going to be playing Omega Boost for the PlayStation 1. Now the reason I am playing Omega Boost for the PlayStation 1 is because last week we played Mobile Suit Gundam vs Zeta Gundam for the PS2. That title probably took more effort than the game. Now, at the time, I had said that, okay, it's not a perfect mech game, but I'd brought up Omega Boost as an example of what they could have done on the PS1. Okay, so this is a bit of a spite video, if you will. And what was interesting, I went back and I was just reviewing the game a bit more. It was developed by Capcom. Think about that for a minute. In the same time period, they released Devil May Cry. They released friggin' Resident Evil 4. And then they made this. Like, come on, Capcom. You're not bringing your A game. I know it. Everyone knows it. And before I play, I just want to give a special shout out to two very special people. So I was never really active on Twitch in the past, right? But the past year I have been, and there are two Twitch stream channels, if you will, that I've been watching for close to a year now, right? And these two channels in particular, they reached out to me and said they've been watching my stuff, and they gave a thumbs up, they gave their support. So thank you to my good friends Disjora, and check out his channel. He does amazing stuff, full long plays, retro games. That's what got me into watching his stuff in the first place. Retro yo. And Bleep and Play, specifically Sean from Bleep and Play. They also play a lot of old games, but it's also more like a podcast. They have an amazing dynamic and they vibe so well. I love those shows. Anyway, enough of me glazing my friends. Let's get into the game. And boop. There we go. Love that show. Also, so tell me if the sound is okay. Tell me if anything needs to be done. Hi, Dan, by the way. Oh, that reminds me. I need to enable the... wait, what am I doing? Twitch. Group. Oh my word, I'm having trouble setting some channel rewards. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Group. Unpause all. There we go. The reactions are now live. Redeem them at your peril. And I created one just for you, Dan, because you really wanted it.
Impact area, Manhattan. The region has been demolished.
7 minutes till Omega Boost launch.
Wookie says, I'm almost disappointed you didn't say Meowthy, because I looked her up when you suggested her, and she had a finger right up her nose when I joined her stream. Yeah, that is Meowthy. Meowthy is amazing. Meowthy is amazing.
So
she has so much energy.
And
she's not ashamed. She's brilliant.
A gravity wave has occurred.
But as far as I know, Meowthy hasn't watched anything I've done, so I can't give her a special shout out. She's still an awesome person though. Check out her stuff. Okay, so straight off, right? Look at this intro. This is brilliant. An actual recording. I love to see it. And this was something you saw more of in the PlayStation 1 days. Because of system limitations, there was that limitation of doing stuff in CG. So they decided, hey, let's just record it in a studio and, add it as a very low quality video file. I mean, look at it. This has style. Look at that combination there of CGI and then it swaps over, or rather having the overlay of the person. That is brilliant. That was a style that became very popular in the PlayStation 1 days, of having multiple layers. It's something I believe Disney had made popular way years back. Oh, parallax. That's the word, parallax. And they're doing excellent parallax right here. Nowadays, you have green screens. It's common. Everyone does it. Right? Pacific Rim vibes. Yes, Wookiee. Thank you. You get it too. I mean, feel this vibe. Straight away, just from this intro, I feel like more people gave a shit about this game than the entirety of Gundam vs. Zeta Gundam. You know? I'm talking about skill. I'm not talking about quality. I'm just saying you can feel they gave more of a shit about what they were making. Am I wrong? Maybe. It happens.
ENIAC, the first unofficial intelligence. The enemy has already activated the time shaft.
Ooh, the time
Our
shaft.
mission is to prevent the Alpha Core
Shaft.
from causing historical alteration.
Let's do it. Oi oi Everton, good to see you, brother. Thanks for tuning in as always. You know, I almost didn't do a stream tonight because I know UK versus Mexico is playing tonight, and Dan had warned me. He's like, oh, they're going to bring it forward and it should be starting right as my stream starts. So I'm like, well, there goes my entire Brit pack. But they're going to be doing it at 1 AM British Summer Time, which, you know, is incredible in a bad way. Man, this music is still going, and this is so indicative of the 90s. Like I've ever watched football. Well, touche, but I also don't really watch football. So, but if it's the World Cup, it's an exception, you know? It's like, okay, you know, like in the same way I don't really like watching various sports. But if it's the Olympics, I'll tune in for a couple of things, you know? It's like, I won't watch Wimbledon, but I'll watch the Olympics, you know? I won't watch, I mean, that just goes to show you how much I know about sports. All I can think of is Wimbledon. Or the Australian Open. I mean, I know more about tennis, thanks to my mother, than I know about any other sport. So here we are. I don't know, I'll never watch the footy. Well, fair enough. And this is one long as hell intro cutscene. Okay, there we go. There we go. Checking memory. Omega Boost. Trademark of Sony Computer Entertainment America. Look at that. Sony brought this out. Okay. Okay, so straight off the bat, what are we looking at? We are looking at an absolute banger. You know what? Hold on. I'm just going to move the game over here a little bit. That means I might not be looking straight at the camera. I'm looking here. So if it's a problem, too bad. Right, let's see what we've got. Load and save. Okay. Load. Save. Okay, so okay, interesting. Checking memory card. Oh, look at this vibe. You guys hearing this? This is some top stuff. How's the game audio compared to my audio, by the way? Sorry, hold on. Oh, okay. Curtains are wide open. I do believe I've got a good balance, but... Okay. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Difficulty. Normal or hard. There is no easy mode. Good. Good, good, good. Oh my word, this music is going so fucking hard right now. You guys hear this, right? I mean, I know. Oh my, it's so funny. I was actually talking to Wookiee about this. My last video, I think, got the most copyright claims on YouTube possible, because apparently every single one of those in Gundam got a copyright claim. Everything. And I'm gonna get the same thing on this one. I know it. But, you know. I don't mind. It's so awesome. And hey, I'm not getting money for this anyway. Let's go for training. Let's go for training, because it has been a hot minute. Scan, search, mission. Lesson 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay, we can do this. This game also has a special place in my heart, because when Dan and I first became friends, back in secondary school, we were about 14, I believe. Dan, feel free to correct me. First time he came over to my place, we were hanging out, he brought Omega Boost, and we played Omega Boost together. So, it's special. Okay, destroy the enemies by pointing the scan button in the appropriate direction while watching the radar located on the bottom left. Push the scan button continuously when you cannot see the enemy.
Omega
Okay.
boost. It's all set. Carry out the mission carefully.
Oh, there's that music again.
Caution.
Oh, hello. Whoa, okay.
Caution.
Okay, hold up. Where's the option? Because it's doing the flight thing. Okay. So here we are. Look at this. Look at this. Straight off the bat, we have some awesome stuff going on, right? We have a boost button. This just feels more powerful. Okay, I guess those are both zoom buttons. Oh, a look behind button. A brake button, which is wild. Okay. Look, oh my word, look at that. Just that alone, just the fact that I have a button that does an amazing 180 already puts this above whatever I could do in Gundam. Okay, lesson 2. Destroy the enemies on the surface of the small planet. Try to attack by moving up, down, left, right while pressing the scan button.
Omega boost.
I'm not
All
sure what the
set.
scan button
Carry
is.
out the mission
I'm not gonna
carefully.
lie.
Caution.
Oh, hello. Infinite ammunition. Love to see it. Once again, folks, this was on the PlayStation 1. So, I don't ever want to hear somebody defend a PlayStation 2 game and say system limitations. Okay, hold on. Let me just fix these controls real quick. Also, I was watching some of my old videos. I've noticed I have a terrible habit of my mouth keeps clicking when I speak. It's my own fault. I don't drink enough water. Okay. Viper B. I have no idea what the hell that means. Scan. Okay, scan is L1. Okay. Hold up. I want to cancel that. I have to get rotate between advance and stop. Flip vertical. There we go. This music, man, it is constantly surprising me. Between advance and stop. I think it's okay. And another point as well, so since my comeback to streaming, well, hey, a few people have reached out to me with some advice and stuff, and they said, oh, you know, it's good to see you back, we can tell you've put a lot of effort into it, but, oh, the games suck. I'm like, listen, guys, listen. To a degree, that is intentional, okay? Listen, hold on. In fact, you know what? Let me come out of this, okay? Hold on. To a degree, that is intentional, because if I only played critically acclaimed good games and said, oh, hey, this is a good game, what the fuck am I doing? You know? The whole point of this is that it's supposed to be retro nostalgic, and that means that I'm going to play games that I have never played before, and it's either going to be trash or it's going to be treasure. Okay? So if I only played good games, fuck off with that. Dynasty Warriors does not suck. That's what I said. I had two people telling me Dynasty Warriors 4 sucked, and I said no. You do not get to say that. You can say the Gundam game sucked, but I will not hear this slander. Destroy the enemy chasing the player. Okay.
Omega boost. It's all set. Carry out the mission carefully.
Okay, the 180 button. Where is he? There he is. Okay, this is actually pretty wild. I can see what he's trying to do. This is a dogfight. I am getting a little bit of motion sickness though, I'm not going to lie. It kind of reminds me of Battlestar Galactica. No lock-on. There is. Essentially, look, he's behind me right now, right? I am pressing the lock-on... So, the lock-on button is essentially L1 to turn around, and once... But my reticule has to be actually on him, and he's constantly trying to get behind me. General Melchett. So it's a dogfight of we're all doing different things, you know? It's not the worst, and I get that as a training level, it's supposed to be very obtuse. Oh, okay, that's what I should do. Zoom out and then turn around. There we go. Can I move backwards? I cannot move backwards. I cannot move backwards. All I can do... I guess in that regard, it's more like playing Ace Combat. It's like playing a fighter craft, where you only go forward. Okay. Pseudo Time Shaft mission. Destroy the marks placed on the pathway by crashing into them. Okay.
Omega boost. It's all set. Carry out the
Oh my
mission
word, what
carefully.
is this? Oh, I've already fucked it up. I've already fucked it up. Oh my. Okay, the controls... Okay, I'm not going to blame the controls. The controls are fine. It is me. I am the problem, because I'm now doing the inverse the wrong way around. Okay, this is wild. This is wild. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. 1, 2. I have to crash into... I get what they're going for. I'm just terrible at it. Come on, all the way. Bugger. This is not the game's fault. This is genuinely me being terrible. 11 out of 50. Hey, it's got my name on it, Mark. Okay, okay. Cool. I'm really hoping that that's not going to be much of a thing in the game.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Yes. Zone play. I just want to see what this is real quick. Hold on. Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Bit of hexadecimal in there. Love to see it. Level and zone. Oh my word. This is a lot of content. Okay, I guess this is the level select, which is amazing. Huh. Replay. Oh, and you can save your replay. Okay. Okay. Amazing. For a PS1 game, this is genuinely amazing. What's the ranking then? Okay. Once again, man, this music! I love it. Love this music. Search mode. Okay. Come on.
Set the primary target to Fortress.
Okay, Alpha colonized.
Cleared to approach planet Eta.
I love this vibe. What is the word for this vibe? Is this 80s, 90s future punk?
Good luck.
Kind of? Like, I remember this happened in Ghost in the Shell as well. And to a degree, I guess Star Wars, to a degree.
Caution.
Whoa, hello. Okay.
Caution. Caution.
See, look at this. So this is more of a hybrid. Oh my. Oh, we fucking. This is kind of awesome, not gonna lie. So, let's talk about this as a mech game, first and foremost, right? I feel like I'm a powerful mech, right? Now, arguably, it's more of a space mech, right? Like if you're playing front mission, you are not feeling this this liquid movement, you know, this quasi nauseating three-dimensional space. So in that regards, it might not be the best example of being a mecha, right? Because I feel like I know I'm destroying the balls. That sounds wrong. Instead of destroying the boss, I'm just trying to, you know, for fun. So, when it comes to being a mech, I do believe Armored Core is the gold standard with that, right? But this was done as a retaliation to playing Gundam, because Gundam has combat in space. One of the levels took place in space, as you'll remember, right? Oh, there we go. Shoot it when it's open. There we go. Woohoo! Nice. Oh, that took a hit. Booyah shaka. And break. Okay. Pretty easy first level, all things considered. Fireworker. Whee! Haha. Did I get him? Oh, he should be dead. One more volley. One more volley. There we go. Booyah, baby! Some other good examples of mecha. Oh, it had little ones inside of it. You jammy fucks.
Warning. Undefined enemies approaching.
Uh-oh. Oh my word, this reminds me of a game I played on the Sega Master System. Oh my word, what's going on? Haha. Okay, I thought this was going to be easy. Quite the opposite, quite the opposite. Get away from it. So, okay, this feels very, cathartic, I'm going to say. So, when it comes to mechs, right, I was talking mechs. You've got, Armored Core, which I do believe is the quintessential experience. You've got Front Mission, which is more of the heavy Pat Labor style mech. Then you've got Space, or more specifically Low G combat. I believe Zone of the Enders does that. It's perfectly serviceable when it comes to that, right? And Gundam did not hit any of those points. Gundam felt clunky. Playing that Gundam game felt like that good stuff. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose today. I have no idea why. I've been sniffling all weekend. And this is going to be up there as a mech game, occupying that intersectional niche of space game and mech game, you know? And once again, I'm playing this because I promised Dan I was going to play it a long time ago, and because I want to show what you can do when you give a shit. It's like that Gundam game, if it played like this, I do believe that would have been excellent. Like, I fully believe that it wouldn't have been that hard to take this gameplay, okay, because there were some space levels, let's not forget, and incorporate ground missions as well. Like, I don't think it would have been that hard. Like, look at this. I'm doing barrel rolls. How the hell can you have a Gundam game without barrel rolls, as we don't have any thrusters? There you are. Booyah shaka! That's how you do it. Where you at? Oh, so FYI, you have to stop shooting, right, to get a lock on. So watch. Boom. 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 Like that. Essentially, just cool your jets. The whole thing is very 90s arcade, and for my money, I don't know how well it holds up. Wookie, that's actually a very valid point. That's a very valid point. So, could do with more of those cinematics, though. Absolutely. So, I mean, we'll address later on how well the game has aged. Let's see more of it first, you know? Because I'm not immediately being given the vibe that it has aged poorly. Right? As I did with the Gundam game. That one, I was like 5 minutes into it, I'm like, oh honey, no. you know what I'm saying? Like even now, okay, right now, it's a pretty straightforward, easy gameplay loop. Later on, from what I remember, because when I played this with Dan, he brought his memory card over, so he'd finished the game multiple times, you know? We played the harder levels. This stuff is just easing you into it. But already, I feel more fulfilled with this gameplay loop than Gundam. I'm sorry, I don't mean to have a hate boner for Gundam, but as far as I'm concerned, okay, and this might be controversial, I don't know. I am more inclined to forgive a bad game when it was made with passion than I am to tolerate a medium game that feels like it was made and nobody cared. Does that make sense? Oh, speaking of nobody care. Oh, Wookie says. Oh, hold on. Oh, we have a fucking mech combat. Look, this is what I was talking about. Mech on mech action. Now imagine if this was in the Gundam. The music, the particle effects. Look at this. This is more fucking Gundam. Like if I told you, hey, I'm Gundam, that's Zeta Gundam. The game is, you know, this is fun. This is fun. I don't even care that I'm getting quasi-motion sickness. Where are you? There you are. Look at that! Look at that! When he's so far away, it does... Oh! Okay. Cheeky. Cheeky bugger. Shields are going down. Come on. Follow him. Okay. There we go. Now gotcha. I love that effect when they're so far away. All you see is... Ow. all you see is the glimmer. That is an amazing design choice. And I do believe I've said before, like, that's how you get around system limitations. You don't have to have a massive draw distance. Look at Silent Hill. You don't need a massive draw distance. You have to be charming. What this game is doing, it's like, it's not even going to try to render faraway objects. All it's going to do is create a nice little glimmer effect on screen. Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. Amazing design. Wookie says, I don't necessarily mean it's aged poorly, but it's sort of something I'd play in a physical arcade, and that is what I'm not sure about. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, let's not forget, this was the tail end of the 90s, right? Arcades still existed. So, a lot of video game design, this is something I believe I've mentioned elsewhere. Like, when you see a lot of these games, the fact that they've got, you know, 10 seconds to continue, you know, or having lives, or anything like that, those are completely holdovers from arcades. It's like, you know, 10 seconds to continue. Why 10 seconds? I'll tell you why. Because in an arcade, you had people queuing up behind you to play the game, so they realised, you know, we have to have some sort of a fair system for players to have another turn. Therefore, 10 seconds to decide if you're going to pony up another quarter. That was a design choice. Oh, and I read something so funny on Penny Arcade. It was talking about the latest nonsense with Sony, which I will address, by the way. And it essentially said, go back to where this all started. This started in arcades. You had machines you didn't own, and games you didn't own. And every time you wanted to play it, you had to put money in it, and every time you did badly at it, you had to put more money in it. And publishers have been chasing that high for the past 30 years. So that's where we're going back. That's where we're going. You don't own the machine, you don't own the game, and if you're a naughty boy, we're going to take the game away from you. I'm going to get to Sony very soon. I'm going to have myself an old man rant. Okay? But I want to give the game some credit first. So we'll get to that soon. Maybe in the second part of the video. Oh. After we have ourselves a little break. Fighter, just look at that. Now, is this a simple gameplay loop? Absolutely. This is absolutely a simple gameplay loop. But, then again, so is Front Mission, so is Armored Core, so is Gundam. Simple does not necessarily mean bad. Okay? Because when you have a game with a simple gameplay loop, you have to then increase the catharsis and the challenge and the context. And you'll do that by having more enemies on screen, more projectiles coming your way, necessitating more dodging, and you will actually feel a proper a proper sense of you're getting better at the game as time goes on. Let's just throw more at you. And you sometimes don't necessarily achieve that by reinventing the wheel. Like, one of the things I don't like about... Don't like is a strong word. But one of the things I don't like about Devil May Cry is that as you play it, you unlock more weapons and you unlock more... you unlock more weapons as the game goes on. Whilst that's good on the surface, I don't like it in regards that it keeps reinventing the wheel. It's like I remember in Devil May Cry 3, my favourite weapon in that game was the guitar. The guitar weapon. I love that weapon. And it pissed me off. You had to be 2/3 into the game to unlock it. Because when I unlocked it, all I could think of was, I really wish I had this weapon when I started the game. My first 2/3 of the game would have been more fun. And then, okay, you do New Game Plus, and now you play it. It's like, no, I don't want to get 2/3 through the game to find something I enjoy. I want to enjoy the game and play through it, and then get better with it as the game goes on. Because up until then, I believe I was using the Cerberus nunchucks. You know, which I had unlocked because Cerberus was the first boss. And then I started putting all my points into that. You know, it's like, okay, the weapons have upgrades. I love the fact that the weapons have an upgrade path. It makes you unlock new combos and new challenges through the game. But then I got a weapon, I'm like, oh damn, I really love this weapon. I wish I didn't spend all my points on the weapon that I now no longer like, because I want all those points to be spent on the guitar. So that means I had to grind levels to get points to upgrade the guitar. Oh, fuck me. You know, and I felt like that was bad gameplay design. I can also, to a degree, understand the notion of... you know what, I'm just going to fill this sky full of lead. I understand the degree of unlocking weapons as the game goes on. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe that is a legitimate form of playing. Oh, did that not play? That didn't play. Sorry, Dan, I've messed something up. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Actions... Wait. I apologise for this. Hold on. I know, right? Why didn't that play? Yeah, visible, invisible. Okay, I have no idea why. That should have worked. That should have worked. But I will play it for you. Okay? So Dan, this is that uwu you wanted. What do you mean it's on cooldown? It's mine. Oh my god. I have to wait for my own cooldown. Can you believe that shit? I apologise. Let me try this again. So yeah, Dan wanted an uwu reaction.
Utter crap.
It worked in my one. The problem is, I can't test it unless I'm streaming. The software's weird like that. So, it looks fine. Okay, here we go. What the ever-loving fuck? Hold on. Okay, I have no idea why this isn't working. Visible, invisible. Yes, visible, invisible. Let me try a voice command. Dio Brando? Dio Brando?
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
There we go. There you go, Dan. Malicious compliance is the best kind of compliance, I find. What do you think, Dio Brando?
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
That's why I was asking you if you'd seen JoJo Season 1. Yeah, we love a bit of silly in here. Oh, I do believe I'm actually getting a message. No, I thought Daniel was messaging me one-on-one and being mad at me. Oh my god, I wasn't paying attention, I died! See, even that, 5 seconds to continue. Whoops, my bad. Where are you?
You thought it was... But it was I, dear!
What?
Caution.
How the fuck did that redeem?
Caution.
I have a feeling it's all stuck in queue now.
Caution.
Hold on. Let me check my action queue real quick. Let me check my action queue. Pending actions. No, it seems fine. Huh. It was me. I guess the software's being weird. I'll figure it out. So yeah, as you can see, this is a very simple loop of you have a bunch of enemies and you have a mini-boss. And as I was complaining about Devil May Cry, I would have liked that they gave you all the weapons in the first act of the game. Not on the second act, getting into the third act. That's just a personal complaint. Love this game though, mate. Yeah, cheers, buddy. Well, I'm playing it because of you. You introduced me to it, after all. Clutch PS1 Mastery. Oh yeah. Here we go. Oh, that wasn't a good clang. I felt that in the suspension. But you see what I was saying though, guys, right? This can you imagine how awesome this would have been if this had Gundam characters in it? You get me? Like, could have happened. It could have happened. Playing around as the Zeta or the Wing. Plinking off a bunch of Leos at the beginning, and then the mission ends with you going toe-to-toe with the Tall Geese. It's so built for it, right?
Are you okay?
Are you okay? That voice is so silly. Okay.
Warning. Undefined enemies approaching.
I'm creating a save state, just FYI. Dio Brando. I said Dio Brando. Wow, now it's not even working here. I have no clue. Okay, it's actually starting to hit me again. So, the software I've got on this thing, it's amazing that it's got voice commands. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you, Multi-Sinner. Look at this game. Buddy, if you're just tuning in now, right, look at this game. Try telling me that a Gundam game could not have been like this. Look at this. Zooming around, in space, 3D. Like, that could be friggin' white base right there. I legit thought it's a Gundam game. No, it can't be. You wanna know why? Because that would imply that Bandai actually gave two fucks. Speaking of giving two fucks. Motherfucker. Okay, sorry guys. I know there's something wrong with this redeem. I'm gonna try and fix it. I'm gonna try and fix it. I'm bypass. What do you mean bypass Q? Why is it gonna bypass?
But it was I, dear!
What? Why is it queued? This is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. I've no idea what's going on. Yep, it's on the bypass queue, it's on the default queue, it's on the retro first hour queue. Wait 5 seconds with the global pause. Oh! Oh, I see what the problem is. I apologize. I apologize, everyone. Wow. It was linking to Melchit. That's why they were both playing simultaneously. My bad. Totally my bad. I'm sorry about that. I know. So, by itself, right? Cinnamon. It's supposed to be.
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
There we go.
Fucking bullshit!
Yep. I realise what happened now because from a tech point of view, I took the first one, my first video clip, which was Melchit. That was the first one I put back in the software, and I just copy pasted it, so I didn't have to do all the commands from scratch. And I referenced everything to have a different trigger and everything. Yep. No, fair enough. I deserve that. I deserve that. I forgot the most obvious, and the way the software works, I have to be streaming.
Again with the squeaky shoes.
I'm getting roasted right now. Deservedly so, might I add. It's okay. It's okay. This too shall pass. Yeah, as I said, you can only test it once you're streaming. So my tests on my side were totally fine. Getting roasted here. But you guys feel what I'm saying about the Devil May Cry? Now, here's where that changes. In Resident Evil, okay? Because Resident Evil, you're like, oh, but Mark, Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. You get new weapons as that game goes on. Why does that get a free pass? I'll fucking tell you why. Because early in the game, in the first act of the 3-act stuff, right? The 3-act story, it gives you a pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, and a sniper rifle. And the new weapons you obtain are enhanced versions of those weapons, or slight variations. It doesn't give you a sniper rifle right before the final fucking boss, and you're like, oh wow, I'd have really enjoyed the whole game playing with the sniper rifle. Dan wants a story. Dan wants a story. You jammy bastard.
Zone has been completed.
Okay. So, let me just pause this a second. Hold on. Okay. Here's what we have for story time. I have 3.9k of points to spend. Dan beat into it. Okay. Dan, you get to pick a story. I am not going to do the same story I did last week. Okay? There has to be a cooldown of sorts. I can totally see Dan wanting to do that. So he's just going to ask for the same story every single week. And I've just roped myself into a corner. Okay, so here's all the stuff over here. Dan, you are... you know it. Yeah, no, I'm not... Come on. Yeah, you have to pick one. So the options are, for anyone listening, there are 6 stories. First one is, where did the screen name Deshin Cross come from? The second one is, I accidentally took a college maths exam drunk. The third one is, I heard something so stupid it almost caused a car crash, which we had last week. The fourth one is, my buddy and I ordered and ate a door of chicken. The fifth one is, stair sledging and sumo wrestling with mattresses. And the sixth and final option is, we zip-tied a friend to a chain-link fence at school, butt naked. Dan wants the door of chicken. Okay. So listen, Dan, hold on, because in 10 minutes there's going to be an ad break, and I need water. I left my water in the kitchen, and I don't want to go and get it. So we're gonna play some more. Gonna do an ad break, and then I'll come back and we will start with the story. Okay? Is that a good compromise? Thank you. What do you think, dear Brando?
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
I love that reaction. I'm so proud of that. I'm so stupid. Rank D. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and you hold me to
Omega
that.
boost. It's all good.
Forza. Oh my.
Caution. Caution.
I was not expecting a thunder level, but here we are. Oh, whoa. Careful now.
Caution.
This is so baller. Rank D's nuts. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Now, as I said in the intro, it was so heartwarming to hear Disjora and Bleep and Play just say, "Oh hey, yeah, been watching your stuff." It was heartwarming, you know. It's like, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm doing it as a passion project. It is a hobby, and part of that passion project and hobby is I like when people, you know, tell me, hey, you know, caught this, good stuff, do more. Or even Bleep and Play was like, yo, you were on in the background. For me, that is an amazing compliment, because I often have a lot of stuff on in the background. Bleep and Play themselves, they also do podcasts. I've had them on all week whilst I've been playing on the couch. Pablito, yes, oh no, Pablito is also amazing. My man Pabs has not given me, has not said he's watched my stuff, so, you know. I mean, in my Twitch, I have a bunch of recommended streamers, and these are all people whom I watch personally, daily/weekly, whenever I can. But special shout out to Disjora once again, and Bleep and Play, because they reciprocate, they like my stuff. Okay, I have no idea what's going on, but that thing is kicking my ass. Okay, I see, don't get too close to it. That was meant to be a tweak emoji. If you say so.
Damage increasing.
Oh, okay, I'm actually getting my ass handed to me. What's going on? Oh! Okay. Okay, it seems like we've got some nonsense.
Omega boost. It's all good.
You know what, guys? Hold on. I'm gonna force the ad break to start now. Okay, I'm gonna force the ad break now. It's gonna be a 5-minute break. Because Twitch needs ad breaks. I understand. Thank you, Twitch, for letting me stream for free. Make yourself a coffee, take a piss, have a smoke, grab a drink, do whatever you need to do. We will be right back in 5 minutes. And if you are a Twitch premium member, or if you're subscribed to the channel, yeah, that's gonna happen, you will hear some lovely music from my good friend GameWave BR. So, BRB. Okay, and we are back. So, actually, let me go to this screen. Okay, so, Dan, let me know if you're here. You redeemed the video after all, the story. So it's only fair I double check if everyone's here. You know what? Whilst we're waiting, make sure everyone's here. Let me just resume the game. Let me just resume the game. As soon as I get the sign off. Oh, okay, Dan's here. Never mind. That was the quickest it's ever been. Okay, so. Too late. It doesn't play when I'm on here. It doesn't play when I'm on here. Hold on. Dio Brando.
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
There you go. It doesn't play on this one because it's a different thing. Anyway, so. This is the story about the time my buddy and I ordered a door of chicken. Right now. Let's give some context. This was 20 years ago. I was 18. Maybe I was 17. I don't know. Anyway, and I've got this buddy, Matt, whom I used to go to school with. I've mentioned Matt a few times, and a good friend of Dan as well, you know. And his father works with a church. He's actually a very prestigious pastor. And he would often have conferences and whatnot here in Malta. And they were typically hosted at the Dolmen Hotel. And he would always get complimentary rooms for him and his family. And this was the first time Matt had his own room. You know, typically he would always be sharing with a sibling. So he's like, dude, you know, and the Dolmen Hotel is close by to me. It's in the town next to me, you know. And he's like, dude, come over. So what do? I go over there, got my PlayStation 2, got Time Splitters, Future Perfect, some beers, you know. Drinking age in Malta was 16. No laws are broken. So we're playing, we're having a good time, you know. And we look over, and it's now 11 o'clock at night, and we're like, oh damn, we've been playing all night, we didn't get any food to eat. What food can we get? And we're like, well, there's only one place that's open at this hour. That would be the Southern Fried Chicken. So okay, so you know, we put our shoes on, and we walked into town. It's about maybe half a kilometre away, give or take. Maybe closer to a kilometre, whatever. And we get there, so we're not drunk, but we're a little bit on the buzzed side, right? So we get in there at 11:15, and we're looking at the menu. Now, here's something that happens, right? So I have the capacity to eat tremendous amounts of food. Okay? I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, it is horrible to behold. And so does my buddy Matt. But whenever he and I are together, something happens. I believe it's some sort of quantum entanglement where our stomachs combine and become greater than the sum of their parts. And we are able to completely destroy food, much to the horror of all onlookers, right? So we're there, and we're both hungry. We are feeling the hunger. And we're just looking at this menu. So the Southern Fried Chicken, essentially a KFC rip-off, you know? We're just looking at this menu. There's just like the one guy standing behind the counter, you know. It's empty. And I'm like, you know what? I want everything. And Matt looks over at me. He's like, you know what? I want everything too. So we look at this guy and we're like, we would like one of everything, please. Each. And the guy looks at us. He's like, yeah. And no, we are serious. One of everything. Now, to give you some context, right? It wasn't a massive menu, but that was still a lot of food, right? It ended up being 20 Maltese lira, which was our old currency before the euro. Each. Now, to give you an idea, 20 lira was approximately 50 euros, right? So we spent 100 euros on food. 20 years ago, when that got you really far, like you could walk into this place and have a full meal for two for 5 lira. Easy. We spent 40. We spent 1 month's rent on food. You both pulled a big smoke from GTA San Andreas. Exactly. Number 9 large with extra dip. Yeah, exactly. That's what we did. So, and this guy's looking at us. He's like, you know, we paid him, so he has to go. This poor man, imagine, half an hour before closing time, and these two jackasses walk in and ask for one of everything on the menu. This man was running back and forth between all the different machines in the kitchen. Like, God bless this man, right? After half an hour, he hands it over to us. We both have 2 bags full of food. And I'm talking chicken burgers, chicken wings, chicken nuggets, hot dogs, beef burgers, wraps, more fries than we could count. A ridiculous amount of food. And we're both like, just fucking standing there like Beavis and Butthead, cool. Shut up, Beavis. So we walk back to the hotel and we're like, man, this was fucking stupid, but I'm glad we did it. It's like, yeah, I agree, So we get in and we're like, okay, let's lay the food out, let's carry on playing, And the table in the dolmen was this tiny ass table. It wasn't a big room. This was one of the small rooms, And no, we have too much stuff. There's not enough room. So we're trying to think, well, can we put some on, pull the chairs out? Can we put some here, put some here? We're trying to figure this out, And whilst we're trying to figure out how the hell to put all this food out, my buddy Matt goes over to the wardrobe and he's like, oh, maybe there's a blanket in here, we'll just push the 2 single beds to the corner of the room and have it picnic style, And his dumbass rips the door right off its hinges, this wardrobe door, right? Because it was a sliding door, and he treated it like a traditional pull open door. So he just pulls the door off, door just goes crashing on the floor. And I'm like, oh, you silly sod. So we go over, we're both trying to put this door back on the hinges, and we both look at each other. We're like, yes, the door, it's the perfect size. So we go over, we got the 2 single beds, we lay the door across both single beds, and we put all the food on the door. This was a door worth of chicken. This was a Last Supper. Okay, not only was it the Last Supper because of how it was presented on one long object, but because I do believe it could have feasibly fed 13 people. And I'm telling you right now, God is my witness, we ate every single fucking piece of that. Over the next 6 hours, we played Time Splitters Future Perfect and ate approximately, I would say, an easy 6,000 calories each of food. We spent 6 hours gorging. It was amazing and disgusting at the same time. So yeah, that's that story. I mean, silly, absolutely, but whatever. We were hungry. We were very hungry, and that is, as far as I know, the only time in recorded history where anyone has had a door of chicken. Not a bucket, not a table, not a picnic blanket, a whole door of chicken. Yeah, damn bro, yeah, and that's that story. Thank you for redeeming it, Dan, I appreciate it. The dumbest ideas are always the best, as they normally come out around midnight. No, this was not the best idea, this was the worst idea. I had the stomach cramp for 2 days. Totally worth it though, totally worth it. Okay, let's get back to the game. Oh yeah, speaking of getting back to it and bad ideas. Speaking of bad ideas, what a brilliant segue. Let me do a save state. I promised I would do a bit of bitching in the second part of the video. Oh wow, these things are trying to gobble me. So, if anyone's been paying attention recently, Sony just announced that as of 2028, there will be no more physical games for the PlayStation. No more physical games for the PlayStation 5, and by proxy, confirming the PlayStation 6 will not have a physical drive. No more physical games. The end of physical. It's happened, guys. Now, people smarter than me have already given their takes on it, and obviously I'm going to echo it. I think it's bullshit. I think it's greedy. I think it is the end of an era with regards to video games, and my biggest concern isn't even necessarily access, but the biggest problem is how much of our consumer rights are being eroded day by day, and these companies are getting away with it. Like, no. And then people are like, oh, the bloody greedy corporations won, but since paying isn't owning, pirating isn't stealing. Yeah, people have said that. But here's the thing. It's like, the PlayStation 6 is a console. You know, to a degree, you still have to get the console to play or even pirate the game. Like I do. Oh wow, I cannot get out of that when it does that. I have no idea how to break out of that. Yeah, I know critical damage. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do another save state. Do I just stay here and shoot it? No, that doesn't make any sense. And that PSN inactivity. Yes, thank you, Wookie. I was just about to mention that. And they've also confirmed that they are now reserving the right where? Died again. I'm loading a save state. I just want to see what am I missing about this, right? Dan, this will be very interesting for you, right? PlayStation have said that if your PlayStation account is inactive for 6 months, they reserve the right to deactivate your account permanently. And you know, they're like, oh, we're going to send you an email and we're going to send you a notification. That doesn't matter. They are saying they will fucking deactivate your account if you haven't bought or logged in for 6 months. So, if you go to jail, there goes your entire library of video games. If you go into a coma, there goes your entire score of video games. If you're in the military and you're going abroad, or your job means that you can't take your PlayStation with you, and oh well, but your email, fuck your email. Like maybe you're not going to be in a position where you can feasibly log in for 6 months or longer. Multi-Sinner, I refuse to purchase another console now. I'll stick to my PC. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm not even outraged. I'm not even outraged, because you know why? I saw this coming years ago. And honest to goodness, I'm surprised it took them this long to do this bullshit. Nope, got me again. Now, Microsoft tried this. They tried this with the Xbox One, where it was going to have to be like always online. Oh my god, that was even faster than last time. Have I seen the Bandai troll? No, I haven't, but write it and I'll get to it afterwards. Enough of the tangents, I'm talking. Glidus Hippo?
How dare you!
So, here's my take on it, right? I knew this was coming. Because a few months ago, I had actually written an entire script. I was going to do a YouTube video. You know, I'm not streaming, but I was going to do a YouTube video on Sony and all their bullshit. And I didn't do it. Like, I still have the script, I just didn't get around to recording it. Okay, you know what? I think I realised what I have to do now. I have to dodge the whip. Okay. I get it. Let me just continue. And I've got it this time. With full health. So. Here's when I saw this was happening, right? And I'm quasi-plagiarizing from myself here. And I do believe I even might turn this into a YouTube video at some point, just by itself. But whatever. Sony are untrustworthy. And they showed their true colours with the PlayStation 3. Right? So you have to understand something. With Sony and PlayStation in particular, right? They were considered the good guys of the consoles in a lot of way. Said to you on WhatsApp, please give it a read. Will do. Now, when the PlayStation 1 came out, right? Amazing console, their first foray, amazing games. When the PlayStation 2 came out, it took the world by storm because, as I've said before, it was a cheap DVD player, that was number one, and they had amazing consoles, and it had the best lineup of video games day one because it was backwards compatible with the entire PS1 library. Okay? That is a fact. Like a lot of people, because consoles back then, it was not typical for a new console to be backwards compatible. Sony became more money hungry between 3 and 4. No. Be respectful, Luke. Let me get my point across. Because you're wrong. It started beginning of 3. Okay? Now, you're off by about 7 years. And this is what a lot of people failed. So then the PS3 was going to come out, right? And the expectation was high that Sony was going to do it again. And they did. The PS3 came out. Could play Blu-rays. Okay, save state. And it came out with full backwards compatibility of the PS2 and the PS1. Now, something very funny happened. It lost the backwards compatibility. Okay? It lost the back. Now, they said because their version of doing it was... They literally had the PlayStation 2 Emotion Engine chip in the PlayStation 3. Because they couldn't emulate it, right? Okay, cool. And then they removed it to cut costs, as they say. Now, here's the thing. Then people were like, okay, we get it, but Sony is going to bring out emulation. You know, they're going to bring out software emulation, and we're going to be able to play our PS2 games. And Sony said, I don't remember when they said it, but they were like, no, this is impossible. They said it is impossible to emulate the PS2 because of the architecture, right? And everyone took that at face value. Everyone took that at face value. Until, a year later, they started releasing PlayStation 2 games on the PlayStation 3. They were downloadable PlayStation classics. And... oh my god, what the fuck? Another one? I'm gonna make another save state. Now, the story was... okay, this was the story, this is what people were told and what people were led to believe, that it was impossible for Sony to emulate. Therefore, what they were doing is that they were taking games and they were essentially recompiling them to work on the PS3. Good guy Sony, look at all the extra effort they're doing so we can play our old games. Somebody found that they were lying through their fucking teeth. Sony were lying. I'll tell you how they were lying. Because that person was also notorious in the underground hacking scene. Like, he was one of the guys who was quintessential in jailbreaking the PS3. He took one of these downloadable classics that Sony had meticulously recompiled, and he discovered it was literally a PS2 ISO file in a wrapper. If you don't know programming, a wrapper is kind of like a zip file, you know? Kind of like a zip file. And he took that emulation wrapper and he applied it as a custom firmware update to his own PlayStation 3. Custom firmware. Using the wrapper from Sony. And now his PlayStation 3 was completely... another one?! Fuck me, okay. His entire PS2 library, discs, were now playable on his PlayStation 3. Sony said it was impossible. This fucking guy did it. One guy figured it out. So, there's not a doubt in my mind that Sony didn't figure it out. There's not a doubt in my mind that Sony did not have the technology to apply this emulation wrapper as a firmware update to allow people to buy a PS3 to play the PS2. Now here's what you have to understand. You can say, oh, it's Sony. They can do what they want. It's their console. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, that first generation of PlayStation 3s, much in the same way the Xbox 360 had the red ring of death, so the PS3s had the yellow light of death. Because of some soldering problems. First gen tech always happens, right? And if you bought one of those PS3s, right, imagine you're a loyal Sony fan. You bought the PS1, the PS2, and the PS3. Okay? Even the PSP. Because fuck it, why not? PSP was awesome. And you bought it. Within your first 6 months, your PS3 stopped working. It happens. So you send it off to Sony. They send you back a second generation with no backwards compatibility. If that were me, I would have been fucking pissed off. I would have been pissed off. And a lot of people were mad, and they were saying that this has to violate some sort of consumer right law, because, you know, I bought an item to play PlayStation 2 games, and PS1 games because I didn't want to lose my library. I didn't want to have 2 fucking consoles connected to my TV. And, you know, or maybe they bought a HD TV and now it doesn't have a SCART connection anymore. So it's like, no, you know. And they have lost functionality. They lost functionality of what they paid for. Sony got around it because somewhere in the PlayStation clause and warranty, which you only find out once you buy the fucker. It's like, they don't tell you beforehand. You have to buy it first for them to find out how fucked you are. That says that they do not guarantee certain functionalities. It's like the functionality that you receive at launch may not be the functionality that you end up with after some time. So that was Sony already giving the middle finger to their people. That was them already giving it because they realised. And the only reason that you could play PS1 games is because they had no way of bullshitting their way out of that one, because you had the PS1 emulators, Bleem, EPSX3, etc. PS1 emulation was famous at that point. PS2 emulation was not. So they knew that if they tried that bullshit and said, oh, we can't emulate a PS1, you know, people would call out on their bullshit, because Bleem, you could play that on a fucking toaster, you know? So, and then Sony did it again. They did it again. PlayStation 4 cannot play PlayStation 3 discs. Bullshit. And at this point you could say, okay, well surely a PlayStation 4 is powerful enough to emulate a PS2. Nope. They didn't even fucking bother. And the way that they hid it, right, and even the PS5, their argument for why it couldn't happen, why the PS5 and PS4 can't play PS2 games, is because the laser in the console cannot read a DVD. They are technically right. They are technically right. Here's why they're wrong. It is true. It cannot read DVD discs. The laser bandwidth does not accommodate that. Here's where they're fucking liars. Again, they're lying to you again. The compact disc format and size, right? You had compact discs, then DVDs, then Blu-rays. And to a certain degree, HD DVD, which Microsoft tried. But, you know, if history doesn't give a fuck about HD DVD, then why should I? The whole point of using that spec, the whole point of using that not spec, there's a technical word for it, form factor, there we go, is that it is backwards compatible by default. That means a CD player will play CDs. That means a DVD player will play DVDs and CDs. That means a Blu-ray player will play CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays because it's the same shape. And the disc laser reader is backwards compatible. Sony paid extra to go off spec to have a Blu-ray laser that cannot read DVDs. Think about that for a minute. They were already playing the Blu-ray licensing fee. They paid something small and stupid, right? To have a custom laser for their consoles, specifically to give the middle finger to your PlayStation 2 games and to your DVDs. Do you want to know why they didn't want you playing DVDs? Because you have all those PS2 games and now they have no excuse. Because you have all those DVD movies that you might have physical because Blu-ray did not pick up, and hey, you know, now we get a cut from every Blu-ray. Fuck them. Fuck Sony. They are greedy. And you know, when all the other console manufacturers are Nintendo and Microsoft, and you are the greediest fucker in the room, holy shit, that is bad. That is bad. You know? To say that you are greedier than Microsoft, the first people to make you pay for online play, and who tried to pull that shit with the Xbox One, and Nintendo, who, honestly, do I even have to explain why Nintendo are greedy? I don't. So yeah, it's like, I saw the writing with Sony and their bullshit back in the PS3 days. Because as soon as that second gen came out of the PS3, and they removed backwards compatibility, I was like, hell no, I noped out. I didn't get a PS3. I got an Xbox 360 because I saw where this was going. I saw where this was going, and I said, you know what? If I'm gonna have to buy a whole bunch of new fucking games anyway, I might as well get an Xbox 360 because at least the Xbox 360 is backwards compatible with the Xbox. So if there's any games I'm missing out on, so be it. Yeah, crazy, absolutely fucking crazy. And you wanna know why I think this happened? You wanna know why I think this happened? Do you know what happened to Sony, to PlayStation, after the first PlayStation 3 gen? Something happened, hold on. Something happened between Gen 1 PS3 with backwards compatibility and Gen 2 PS3 with backwards compatibility. Chat, tell me if you can guess what changed between in that year, in that 1 year, from the PS3 launch to the PS3 version 2. America. Daniel? Wookie. Kelly. Yes. PlayStation, the brand that belongs to Sony, officially moved HQ from Japan to California. Okay? People say, oh, PlayStation, a Japanese product. No. PlayStation is an American console and has been since circa 2007, 2006. Okay? The only Japanese console, okay, I'm going to make a save state, is Nintendo. Nintendo are the only Japanese company left in the race, making consoles. I mean, do you remember Ken Kutaragi? Yeah, he was no longer in charge. He was no longer calling the shots. Now you had some fucking American guy. I mean, the guy who designed the PS4 was American. It's like you can't even say Japanese engineering. It's not. The designer of the PS4 was Mark Carmack, maybe? I might be wrong on that name. I might be wrong. I know I'm missing a lot of chat. Hold on. Thing is, they think people just bend over and buy the console. No, they will. They'll try upwards of $1,000 for a damn console. Dude, here's where you're wrong, okay? No wonder it was shite worse PS, yeah. Here's what happened, right? Now, they've wanted to do this for a while, and even Microsoft, the next Microsoft Xbox Project Helix, they've already said won't have a disk drive, okay? And Nintendo, the Switch 2, there've already been a few games where the cartridge is just a key to download content, right? It's already happening. They're all doing it, and they've wanted to do this for a while. They were waiting for one of the big names to pull the first, to fire the first shot in no man's land. GTA 6. GTA 6 came out, and they said no physical GTA 6. It's only digital. And they got something stupid. Tens of millions of pre-orders. At last I checked, I saw it was up to 38 million pre-orders. So yeah, no kidding. If Sony can look and they say, well, you know, how do people want physical? Apparently, the most anticipated game of the year, the most anticipated game of the year has said no, we're doing digital only, and 38 million people are going to bend over and take it. Now, here's why. Here's why Sony wants no physical, right? And I'm going to give you guys some numbers, because once again, I was doing a video about this, and I haven't done it because I'm a lazy piece of shit, right? In 2024, PlayStation published their revenue reports, right? This is revenue, not profit, but think about this a minute, right? Of their PlayStation revenue report, 20% of their revenue was from digitally purchased games. Okay? Digitally purchased games. 24% of their yearly revenue was from DLC. Okay? And there were some other things, like there was hardware sales. That includes controllers, headsets, actual consoles themselves, and there was subscriptions, like PlayStation Plus was a separate metric. Physical games was 3% of their revenue for 2024. 3%. Digital games were 20%. 7 times higher. And I'm going to tell you why. Right? So, in the world of online procurement, the 70-30 rule is the golden number, right? So that means, let's take Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm just an example, off the top of my fucking head, right? That was 60 quid when it came out, I believe, right? So 60 quid. That would be 50 quid plus 20% VAT. So VAT is additive, not subtractive. So it's you take the base game 50 plus 50%. Plus 20%, which would be 10 quid. It's not 60 and then 20% of 60, which would be 12 quid. Okay? Anyway, of that 50, right? Sony take a royalty cut from that 50 quid, right? Because they're not getting a cut of the VAT. That's the British government. Of that 50, it is anywhere between 5 and 10%. So the max that they were getting for Final Fantasy Remake, physical copy, was a 5 quid royalty kickback. That's it, a royalty kickback. Meanwhile, that same game on the Sony PlayStation Store, it's a 70-30 revenue split. You get where I'm going with this? So at most 5 quid versus digital sales 15 quid. 15 quid. So triple the revenue. And when it comes to second-hand sales, Sony don't see a fucking cent of second-hand sales. They don't. So if I bought Final Fantasy Remake and I play it, I finish it, a month later, I sell it to my good buddy Dan for 30 quid, right? Second-hand game. Sony don't receive a penny. If in a world of digital only, if I want it and I have it, and I don't want it anymore, tough shit. The only way Dan is getting that game is if he buys it from Sony themselves. Okay? Obviously, so the second-hand market is dead. And to give you an idea of why this is bad, if you go on the PlayStation 5 game marketplace right now, look up Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, the remake. It is 70 quid. Go on Amazon.co.uk and look how much it is physical. It's about 30 quid. Because digital games never go down in price. They never go down in price. Now, at best, you'll get a summer sale, or you'll get a Christmas sale, or you'll get a Halloween sale, at best. And getting it on a console, good fucking luck. Good luck. Because it just doesn't happen. It just does not happen. Anyone with a PlayStation can attest to this, right? Their library, games that came out... Motherfucker, what am I doing? Games that came out 10 years ago are the same price. Unless you say top premium prices for your PSN subscription, of course. And you know what? No, fuck the subscription. Fuck the subscription, because once again, you don't own it, they're just giving you a temporary pass to play it. Right? And, as Dan and I were pointing out, right? Because we know... So imagine you're playing online, right? With your friend. Not even online, like in a public lobby. Co-op, right? And you're talking on the PS voice chat. And you say something problematic. Right? And you say something that goes against the Sony terms of service. Now, I'm not saying... say a bunch of dumbass racist stuff. I'm not saying it. Because, you know, you should be better than that. But Sony will hear that because they're monitoring private conversations and you will lose your account. And sorry, right? If you have a Sony account... So close! If you've had a Sony account since the PlayStation 3, 20 years ago, and you have spent 5,000 quid on games and an extra couple of thousand on subscriptions, I don't believe you should lose that because you quoted GTA 5 to your friend and you said the N-word. Like, if you're the kind of person who uses that language, only God can judge you, not me. Okay? And think about it. But if you're with your friend and you're messing around and you're doing the, and get yourself change that yee ass haircut so you can get more women on your dick. N-word, you're just quoting the game. You've lost your account. You've lost your movies, you've lost your games, you've lost your account. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. From a consumer affairs point of view, I don't think that is just. I don't think it's right, I don't think it's just, and I think anyone who defends that is a shill. Don't take me out of context. I'm not saying go out there and be a jerk. I'm not saying go out there and be toxic. I'm saying if you do, you should not have all those games taken from you. Like, at worst, you should be banned from playing that game online. And then that's not a Sony thing. Like, if you're playing Call of Duty and you say some horrible stuff, then the Call of Duty people ban you, and then they should send a notification to PlayStation like, hey, listen, we had to ban this person. Oh yeah, I forgot I can do this. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I forgot I could do that. It was essentially my moves to attack. Wow. They should say, hey, we had to ban this guy for so-and-so reasons. And then Sony should say to you, hey, this game banned you for this. If you keep on doing, like, if you get 3 strikes, 3 different game companies say you're doing this toxic crap, we're going to stop you from playing online. But they shouldn't take away the games that you've paid for. And even look at recently, PlayStation have lost like hundreds of movies. Like, you bought Terminator, you bought Hot Fuzz on the PlayStation Store to watch. It's gone. You paid them money to have a movie in your library. It's gone. Think about that for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna pause this game here. Okay. That game is gone. Your account. Okay, you go to jail. Okay. Not every prisoner is a criminal. Not every criminal is a prisoner, right? Maybe you go there because of weed. They caught you with some weed on you, and you're being put inside the jail for a year. Okay, terrible. You've lost your account. You've lost your account of 20 years. All your games are gone. Everything's gone. Why? Because fuck you. You get deployed because you're fighting a war. You get captured. You're a POW for 1 year. Your account is gone. Fuck you. You're driving back from work thinking, I can't wait to go home and play some GTA 6. Some prick T-bones you at an intersection. You're in a coma for a year. Your account is gone. Fuck you. This isn't right. We have entered an age where things are going terrible. Okay? And the problem is, 3% of their revenue 2 years ago was physical. Sony know. They know that they can lose every single customer over this shit show, and it's not going to cause a damn change. Because guess what? They're going to lose 3% revenue. Cool. Let's say they lose 10% revenue. Because maybe some of those people who bought digital games also just won't buy that. Cool. They're fine with it because they're going to get back that 10% revenue from the other 90% of their player base who now have no option for second-hand games. So they have to get it through the Sony store. They have to. It's like, okay, let's say you're an average person. You're going to buy the PS6. You're like, okay, I don't care about physical. Cool. And let's say you buy 1 game, 10 games a year, right? 5 physical, 5 digital. And the physical, you bought them second-hand, half price. Now you're going to say, hey, well, I can't afford that. Okay, cool. As in Sony's eyes, you are only a customer of 5 games, the digital ones. If you even buy 1 more game, so now instead of 10 games a year, you're buying 6 games a year. You buy 1 more game, but this is a game they can monetize. This is a win for them. And at the ratio of a sixth game being 20% of 5, they can lose all those physical players, 10% of their revenue, but they're going to get 20% revenue back. Yeah. No, sorry, more than that, because it's a 5% revenue and now 15% revenue. They can lose all the physical players. They will gain 6 times the revenue from the other players. 6 times on the ones that are missing out. I'm not surprised. I'm disgusted, but I'm not surprised. Yep, subscription is a cheaper option. If you play a game at least 3 games a year, save money. You know, subscriptions, fuck you. I'll tell you why. Because it's the same thing. They're just repackaging it and rebranding it so you think you're getting a bargain. You're not. You're paying us. Once again, subscriptions. Fuck subscriptions. I don't want a subscription. I want to get a game. I want to sit down. I want to play the fucking game. Everything is a subscription nowadays. I don't want a subscription. They're packaging you a subscription because they know that if they get this dumb shit on the hook for 12 months to buy a subscription package, that's 12 months of guaranteed revenue. Because you buy a PlayStation, you buy 1 game a year. Woo. They're going to get a physical game. They're going to get £5. You buy a subscription, they know that you're on the hook. And probably next year you'll buy another subscription and another subscription and another subscription. They've got you by the balls. Don't ever say, oh, subscriptions are good. Fuck Sony, fuck Microsoft, fuck Nintendo, fuck their subscriptions. Okay? You can quote me on that. Fuck all of them and their subscriptions. It is nickel and diming. It is getting you hooked on the idea that you don't own a fucking thing. And your subscription is tied to an account that can be taken from you at any moment. Because Sony decided, hey, you know what? You said some bad words. Gone. You had an accident and you didn't access your account. Gone. You were serving your country in a war. Gone. You went to jail. Gone. Fuck that. I don't care. I don't care. All these dumb fuckers are going to do, you will own nothing and be happy. Some German economist. Yeah, no, exactly, Wookie. Exactly. So, fuck them. Right? And one of 2 things is going to happen. And I don't know which one of these 2 things is going to be. And that, frankly, annoys me. Because I tend to know everything. Because I'm a smart-ass know-it-all. Right? Dan and Wookie, right? I predicted GTA 6 was going to ruin the video game industry. I didn't think it was going to be because of digital. I thought it was going to be a pricing thing. But here we are. I foresee this is going to go one of 2 ways, right? We are either about to enter a digital cyberpunk dystopia of people, Gen Z in particular, are already so used to this. This is just another nail in the coffin. This is how it goes, and the worst part is that Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo will all do it, because they're all going to fucking do it, and they're going to make gangbuster money. And that's it. That's the end of physical games, and we're entering a new hell of cyber digital regulations telling you what you can and cannot do, and you have to play nice forever, or they'll take away stuff you've paid money for. Because, and I think that's where it's going to go. Because Stop Killing Games went to the EU Parliament, and the EU, in traditional fashion, was like, oh yes, well, you make a good point, but we cannot do anything because we would rather charge you more taxes, so I'm sorry, we can't do anything. Fuck you. See, even me saying that, in certain jurisdictions, I could get my account banned. If in Germany, you can go to jail for making fun of a politician. I just made fun of a politician. If I'm in Germany, I would get my PlayStation account banned because I went to jail for a year. Good job I'm not in Germany. Good job I'm not in the UK. Right? So, and I think it's going to go that way. I am 80% sure it's going to go that way. Or, the better way it's going to go is if we enter the new golden age of piracy. The last golden age of piracy was in the late 90s, early 2000s. 25 years ago. 25, 30 years ago. The golden age of piracy. Now, I'm not advocating for piracy, because that's against the Twitch terms of service. I would never advocate for piracy. But as somebody pointed out, if purchasing is not ownership, then piracy is not stealing. And sometimes these big companies, the only option you have is to pull the sword out of the scabbard. There's only one lesson they learn, and that's when their bottom line and their revenue gets hit. That's the only lesson. Boycotts don't work. Petitions don't work. Going to the EU Parliament doesn't work. The only thing that works is some prick in a boardroom somewhere looking at a graph and saying, this game was pirated 10 million times. That's 10 million in revenue we're not getting. That's the only time they actually take notice. Only time. They don't care about you. You are a number on a database. Okay? You are part of a graph. They don't give a shit about you, or what you've done, or where you've gone, or what you've had going on. They don't care. You've always been a number, and they want to milk you as hard as they can. It's not even a they can't even say, this is a customer. No. They say, this is a cow, and we want to milk this cow as hard as we fucking can. You were a customer. You had games. Then they realised, we can milk this guy, stop him accessing his games, download it on the PlayStation Store as a classic, because we can't emulate the PlayStation 2. Then they did it again, PlayStation 4, we can't emulate the PlayStation 3. And now every generation has gotten worse. They don't care about you. So why the fuck should you care about them? As for Omega Boost, yeah, that was a really great game. I got off on such a tangent there. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. Omega Boost, brilliant game. Shows you what happens when it's made by people who give a fuck. I would like to see a Gundam game like that, but then that also implies that Bandai would have to give a fuck, so we're not going to see it. Good game, system limitations be damned. I enjoyed it, I hope you enjoyed it. Let's find someone to raid. So, let's see, whom can I raid? Raid channel. Who's streaming? Who am I following? Let's see. Anyone playing this? No. Okay. Am I going to literally end up raiding Mini Mastermind 90 again? Don't get me wrong. He's a cool guy. I just don't want to raid him every single week. It's gonna make out I have no friends. I'm Johnny No Mates. There's nobody I can raid. I don't know. Seriously. Whom can I raid? Okay, there's a lot of people playing Dead by Daylight right now. Do you guys want to see Dead by Daylight? I don't know. I mean, the reason is because there's an event going on. I'm still scrolling. But yeah, that was my ridiculous rant about Sony. There was more in me than I thought there was going to be. Okay? Sorry for getting very sweary. Sorry for being very aggressive and angry, but you know what? Stuff like this makes you angry and it makes you aggressive. Oh, wait. Before we do raid, hold on. What do you think, Dio Brando? Motherfucker. I really have to get this thing fixed. Dio Brando.
You thought it was... But it was I, Dio!
That is so fucking stupid. I am a child. I make no apologies for the kind of man that I am. Right, come on. I mean, I tried to follow Meowthy, but she's got it set to not work. I'm gonna try following Meowthy again. If I can't follow Meowthy, then I'm going to start raid. Hey, it worked! We're gonna raid Meowthy. Okay, Meowthy is awesome. Go there, give her some love. She's a cool person. She plays games. And that's goodbye from me. What I'm gonna play next week, I have no idea. But I will see you then. So, thank you so much for catching the stream. If you're on YouTube, do whatever. I don't care. I don't make money anyway. Bye!